YouTube, hello! Welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Going to be going over the 2nd anniversary live stream and all the stuff that they announced at the live stream. Obviously, this was done in Japanese, and I don't speak Japanese for folks that don't know. So a lot of this stuff is either translated with just like Google Translate as best I could, or stuff that was just kind of obvious, right? Because obviously I can see images, so I can at least go over that. So first and foremost, you rip the band-aid off right away. If you don't want spoilers for 2nd anniversary and you want to just wait until things get announced on Saturday, this is your warning. I'm going to be going over everything that they talked about in the live stream, or at least most of what they talked about in the live stream that I could discern. There was a lot of discussion points and stuff that I was kind of looking through the YouTube chat to see what they were saying. I'm not going to be touching on that stuff because if I don't know for sure, or at least have a solid 50-50 shot of getting it correct, I'm just going to wait for it to actually happen on Saturday, which I'll be live streaming on Twitch if you're interested in checking that out, right at the 10 p.m. start at 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'll be live on Twitch and likely be live on TikTok as well. And then obviously I'll have all of the recorded videos and the edited videos here on YouTube for y'all to watch as well. But final warning, lots of spoilers coming. I'm going to try to make sure that the title and the thumbnail don't have spoilers in it outside of, just the 2nd anniversary image. So that way we don't spoil stuff. But last warning. Good, great. Okay, so original Sephiroth is coming. Woo! Everybody happy, yeah. I didn't think we were going to get a new character in September. I thought it was going to be in October, but hey, more the power to him, right? So he's going to be unlocked through the actual event, which we'll get into the event in a second, but he's going to be unlocked through the actual event. And once you unlock him, he is a permanent unlock. You get to keep him forever. He's just used forever. I don't know what that'll mean for the folks that don't play during anniversary. I assume he's just going to be unlocked like the rest of the characters. That would be pretty weird otherwise. But that we'll worry about that later. To my knowledge, this is one of those 50-50 coin flips. It sounded like that he could not be used with his younger version on the same team, which wouldn't surprise me. We did have in Pokemon Masters EX, which is a completely different game, right? But a completely different game. But in Pokemon Masters EX, you used to not be able to use 2 of the same person on your team. So like as an example, Cynthia as a Pokemon trainer in that game had multiple Pokemon, and you used to not be able to use them at the same time. You could only use one. So then if you'd have Cynthia and Garchomp, you couldn't use Cynthia and Spiritomb, right? They did end up retconning that after a while in Pokemon Masters EX. I imagine they're going to do the same here because I understand the reason why they can't be used like thematically, but I imagine that is likely not going to matter in the long term, which version of Sephiroth you choose to use in a fight. So and them being used together, I think will probably end up being good. But we'll see, obviously jury's out. We'll see what they actually do with Sephiroth, what his actual kit looks like. We'll go over all of that, and I'll have a completely separate video for just Sephiroth on Sunday, hopefully first thing in the morning. So that way you guys can have all that information. We'll obviously be, again, doing it live. So if you'd like to see it live, we'll be doing it live as well. So I'm going to go over his outfit and the weapons that they showed. Now, the weapons that they showed, I'm either gathering the information based off of the image they provided, or I went through Google Translate and tried to translate all the text to see what it did. So obviously, this may be incorrect, right? So I'm only saying this with a fraction of confidence. We'll know for sure tomorrow. So take it with a grain of salt. This is just what I was able to come up with based on Google Translate information and what we were able to figure out. So the outfit looks like it's going to be called the Planet's Devourer. It looks like it's going to have attack all allies and a new version of the Omni Arcanum. It's going to have boost HP on it. I don't know. It didn't say what the percentages were for the Omni Arcanum, which isn't unusual when they showcase those outfits. They usually just say boost XYZ damage, right? And they don't actually give us the percentage of what it is. I anticipate it's probably going to be 30% still, because it has a boost HP effect included in it. So it's not like it's not powerful. It's not like it doesn't have a good effect. And obviously attack all allies is also a damage boost as well. So I expect it to be very similar to the other Omni Arcanums. If it's anything higher than that, like if it's in like the 40% range or something, it almost becomes an auto pull at that point, right? Because that's an outfit that you'll be able to use for Sephiroth forever, right? It'll always be useful. It'll always be powerful. So obviously, again, we'll have full banner breakdowns once that come out, but that's what it looked like on paper. The Masamune looked like it did 800% non-elemental damage with a 60k flat damage. It looked like it was single target, but that would be the first time we had a single target flat damage effect. So I'd be pretty surprised if it was single target. But so we'll see. I mean, 800% does lean into it being area of effect, so it's probably area of effect, but I couldn't tell. And it looks like it also lowers physical defense and magic defense, which is great. So the fact that it also has a flat damage and does lowered defenses as well. If it does both of those things, that's a very, very strong weapon. So that actually makes it stronger than all of the other flat damage increases outside of maybe Eris that does the exploit weakness for your entire team. Being able to lower defenses is great. So that seems like it's going to be a pretty good weapon. Kotetsu, it looks like it's going to be a 540% non-elemental damage weapon that lowers physical attack and magic attack. The regular Sephiroth has this with Kuja's Spirit Blade. You've seen this weapon on other characters such as Sid and Vincent as well. Just AoE, physical attack, magic attack down. You know, solid weapon, useful when you need it, you know, useless when you don't. And then it looked like there were two, what I assume to be our limited weapons. I don't know if these are going to be in his featured pool or if they're going to be limited weapons. They separated them away from the Masamune and the Kotetsu, which I assume are both featured weapons. I'm going to butcher this. Kukuchi Manji. I definitely didn't say that right. Looks to do 1340% non-elemental magic damage to all enemies. Gives a haste effect and a damage boost for all allies. I don't know what that means. Whether or not that means it's going to be like physical or magic damage up, I don't know. It didn't translate very well in the translator. Our abilities look like it's going to be attack all allies and ability potency. So it looks like it's going to be an offhand weapon. So that's pretty cool. The Shiranui, nailed it. Looks to do 1340% single target magic fire damage while giving a fire elemental damage bonus to all allies. That might just be fire potency up. I don't know for sure. Again, that one was kind of rough with the translation. So that one, but the way that they showcased it during the live stream, I might actually post the little clip here and just speak over it. So that way you guys can see it. But the way that they showed it in the live stream made it look like the more that it was used, the more bonus damage it got, which was interesting because even Ifrit did more bonus. Like it had like an additional damage number at the bottom. So we'll have to see what that actually turns into, because if that's the case, that makes that weapon insane, like super, super strong. So we'll have to go over that tomorrow once it's officially released. Our abilities for that one looks like it's magic attack all allies and fire potency, which obviously is very good. That pretty much covers this Sephiroth side of things outside of his ultimate weapon, which we'll talk about that in a second. But I wanted to at least get the Sephiroth bit out of the way before we talk about the event. The event is going to be Advent Children, which is surprising to me. I did not expect them to drop Advent Children as an event. I was kind of hoping that, or expecting rather, not hoping, that this was going to be something else kind of unique, right? Like with the Bahamut event last year, with the Odin event at the half anniversary, I was kind of expecting it to be summon themed. So for them to actually make it Advent Children themed surprised me. I'm excited still. The Advent Children outfits are super, super dope. I actually like the Advent Children movie quite a bit. So I'm excited to go through the event and play it. It's actually running through October the 23rd, which is a long time. For folks who played in the first anniversary last year, the anniversary went through, it was about 6 weeks, I think. And even then we were just like, man, that's a long time. 2 months is a long time for an event to run, like a really long time for an event to run. So you've got plenty of time to get through this. It's going to be out for a while. All the banners are going to be out through October 23rd as well. So you've got plenty of time to, you know, clear out content, finish up story content, get your crystals updated, you know, do your login bonuses, all that stuff. We're going to have a lot of resources to pull on these banners and do these events. So make sure you take advantage of that as it's out. Looks like it's going to have a Barrett exclusive weapon. So that's probably going to be the event weapon, is Barrett's weapon from Advent Children. I'm hoping that they give us Barrett's outfit, because we're going to talk about the outfits in a bit, but Barrett's outfit was not included in the banners. So hopefully we get a free outfit out of this. I don't expect that we will, if I can be blunt, just because they just gave us a free outfit for the Dragon Quest event, and they typically don't give out free outfits very often. So that would be kind of unfortunate, but we'll see what happens. We'll see how they handle it. Obviously, there wasn't a whole lot of information given out about the Advent Children event itself and what we can do and what we can expect. So we'll just have to see what that is on Saturday. The first banner is going to be a Cloud and Sephiroth banner combined, and this is a Sephiroth original. I'll figure out a way to phrase that so that way it's clear which Sephiroth it's going to be. I'm probably just going to say adult Sephiroth instead of original. I think adult makes more sense. We'll do adult and young Sephiroth, but we'll see what happens. So we have the Cloud outfit, which is going to be his Advent Children outfit, It looks like it's going to have Reprieve and an Omni Arcanum, which is insane. The text on the bottom's ability looked to be the exact same thing as Sephiroth's for the Planet's Devourer that we talked about earlier. And if so, that is an Omni Arcanum. The top ability looked like Reprieve. So if that's the case, this is much like the Tifa banner that came out in January when it had the Omni Arcanum and Reprieve. And I said back then that basically makes it an auto pull because Tifa just has too many elemental weapons and too much power to not utilize that for the rest of the game, right? It's the same thing for Cloud, right? Cloud, before, I would have told you that he doesn't have a lot of weapons that can really like reach the damage ceiling that Tifa can. That is not the case anymore. He's gotten an ice weapon, a wind weapon, a lightning weapon now. He's got a lot of weapons that can actually reach some pretty high damage figures for today's game. And so with that in mind, I do expect that outfit to be very, very good for Cloud and probably his staple going forward. We'll do a full banner review when that comes out. I won't go into it much further than that, but if it does have Reprieve and an Omni Arcanum, that's going to be a great banner. His weapon looks like it's going to be a non-elemental damage weapon. It's called the Fusion Sword. Again, this is all roughly translated. I assume it's going to be called the Fusion Sword, but we'll see. It looks like it does 1340% at OB10, and it grants a physical and magic boost. I think this is just going to be a physical attack and magic attack increase, which will make it a good offhand weapon for him, which is great because it looks like it has attack and ability potency. So, which would be attack all allies, right? So it looks like it would be a pretty good offhand weapon for him. And again, Cloud doesn't have a lot of great offhand weapons in this game, so giving him anything that's a generic offhand weapon is definitely a welcome effect. It does look like as well, if he's above 50% HP, that it gives exploit weakness. So if that's the case, this will be basically just like the Daffodil Gloves, but on steroids, because it's going to give him a damage boost as well. His ultimate weapon that's going to be featured on this banner is going to have 2 uses and a +3 ATB effect, and it looks like, based on what the translation was, it looks like it's going to be a physical and magic ability amp, kind of like what Lucia and Vincent's ultimate weapon was, but for himself. The R abilities look like ability potency, that one's pretty obvious, and the second effect, it looks like it's physical ability potency and physical attack to your entire team at the start of the battle, which is awesome. We don't know what the tier is, obviously, because they just said physical ability to your entire team. That could just be an amp effect too, so that the first attack is better. I doubt it though. It's probably going to be a physical attack increase, which in that case, that's very, very strong. Being able to give your entire team physical attack up at the start of the fight and not having to waste ATB to get that effect onto your team and just start to DPS right off the rip is very powerful. So if that's exactly what the ultimate weapon turns out to be, plus the 3 ATB effect, that's very, very good. So worth mentioning. It's very, very good. Oh, and the 3 ATB looks like it goes to the entire team. So if that's the case, the physical and magic ability amp might also go to the entire team. And if it does, and if it is 3 ATB for the entire team and not just Cloud, that's a very, very strong ultimate weapon. Very, very strong. Next, we've got Sephiroth's ultimate weapon. It looks like this one has 3 uses, and it looks like it gives haste and exploit weakness. It has very similar text to the Cloud limit break weapon that they have featured there. So if that's the case, it looks like it's going to give exploit weakness. The R abilities look like ability potency, again, makes sense. And then it looks like the second one is magic ability potency plus an effect that gives physical and magic amp, so the same thing as Cloud's activated effect. Only it happens every time you interrupt. So whenever you do a sigil break and you break it and it goes to that interrupt phase, your entire team gets a physical and magic amp, which increases the damage of 1 attack for that damage type for that one attack. If that's the case, that's also a very good ultimate weapon. Obviously, if they're running 2 ultimate weapons at the same time, no matter how many months we have, there's no chance that we're going to get both. Because unless you have enough to pull, 60 times? Is how many you'd have to get the 600 Mako Gems, or they give us Mako Gems as login rewards. The odds of us getting enough of the Mako Gems to get both are pretty low. It's not unlikely, right? But it's not impossible, but it is unlikely, right? So of the 2, we'll go through them and compare the 2 and see where we're at. It's going to depend on Sephiroth's kit as well, which one we would prioritize. My gut instinct tells me that Cloud's is probably going to be the more efficient and more useful, just because his ability, the second ability, does give your entire team a buff right at the beginning of the fight, where Sephiroth's is more niche-y, just because it has to have a sigil break phase, and not every fight has a sigil break phase. Doesn't mean it's bad, just means it's not as good, right? Not as consistent, rather, right? Not as consistently useful. And then starting on September 18th, looks like the update nights are still going to be on Wednesday, by the way, because it's September 18th in Japan, which means it's going to be September 17th here in the States, which means we're going to have our update nights at 10 p.m. on Wednesdays again, which makes sense. It looks like there's going to be a second banner, and the second banner is going to have 3 characters on it, which is crazy. It's going to have Tifa, Yuffie, and young Sephiroth all in Advent Children-based outfits with a corresponding weapon. They did not give us details on those outfits or weapons, so we don't know anything about those. We just know that they're coming out. They also run through October 23rd, and they're also going to have Sephiroth's. They showed Sephiroth's ultimate weapon on that banner, so I'm wondering if maybe that one's going to have Sephiroth's featured, or if they're just going to give us the Mako gems that they did before. So for folks that didn't play during the 2nd anniversary, they gave us Mako gems during the 2nd half of anniversary that we could exchange for either Sephiroth's ultimate weapon or Kate Sith's ultimate weapon, because when the last banner came out for anniversary, they were already transitioning to the October ultimate weapon, which was HP Shout for Kate Sith. And so as a result, instead of just making it so the last one was HP Shout, and even though it was still anniversary, they gave us the choice to be able to exchange for Genji Blade if we preferred to do that instead. For folks that don't know, I ended up getting the Genji Blade multiple times during my pulls. I have not found a weapon in the gacha pull since then, except for Glenn's. I pulled Glenn's on the last pull when I had just enough to exchange for it. And I pulled that one. Those are the only 2 that I've ever pulled. But I expect they're probably going to do something similar to this. Will they give us like a 2nd anniversary Mako gem that we'll be able to exchange for either? But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, that's just speculation. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But again, we don't know any details with that, so that's just kind of is what it is, and we'll figure it out once those banners come out, and obviously we'll do all those banner reviews here on YouTube as well. That pretty much covers the events and the banners themselves. Now we're going to go into new features. This is also going to go over the future roadmap. I will pause after we talk about all the new features being added for anniversary, and to say that I'm going to be transitioning to the future roadmap if you don't want spoilers for that as well. I'll also have chapters in here for all of this stuff, obviously, so you can avoid any spoilers. First new feature that's being introduced is NOMURA. It looks like, and again, this is all rough. I don't know if this is true or not. This is we're just gonna have to wait and see until like the English details are released, or until somebody else that actually understands Japanese translates this for us. But it looks like it's going to provide bonuses to your party for specific fights. I can't really tell what it's going to do. But regardless, it looked like it gave your party bonus stats. Whether or not that's going to be used just for that specific fight, or if they're permanent increases, we'll have to wait and see. I expect, based on the numbers that they were showing, because it was like 3,000 HP, 1,000 attack, 50 defense, 150 magic defense, I would imagine that's going to be for the specific fight, not for a permanent increase, because those numbers are way too high for them to be permanent increases. So time will tell. We'll see what happens, but I sincerely doubt they're going to be permanent increases. I expect it to be just versus that specific fight. We're going to see a level cap increase. So we're going from 90 to 100, and then the battle tower levels are increasing as well. So it sounds like they're currently at 40 floors right now, and they're going to go up to 50. And then we'll have, obviously, Sephiroth will have his own battle tower as well, which will be a full 50 floors. If it's still 100 crystals for every single floor cleared, that means it's going to be an additional 11,000 crystals just from those battle towers alone. And that means all of the upgrade crystals for the expanded growth screens, right? For the growth streams. You know what I meant. Growth streams. These crystals that you find there that you need in order to get past these barriers will be in that battle tower, just like normal. So make sure that you're going through and getting that stuff cleared, because that'll be the way that you get your character's stats upgraded to the highest tier. So keep that in mind. That'll all come through on anniversary on September the 7th. We're getting a 2nd anniversary gear voucher. So this is unsurprising. We kind of all assumed that we're going to get another gear voucher for anniversary, but you know, it's nice to have confirmation. It looks like it's going to go through the Of the Hunt banner. So this is going to be things like Sid's Dragoon outfit, the Lucia dealer outfit, so the earth damage outfit that Lucia got, the Watch of the Hunt outfit that Yuffie got, etc. Right? So if that's the case, that's everything up to the Ever Crisis Academy banners. So we'll be able to get basically any featured outfit from that one before, right? So anything that was featured, specifically featured. So this won't be limited outfits. You're not going to be able to get like the Daffodil outfit and stuff like that. So don't think about that. But it'll be a nice opportunity to go through all of the featured outfits that they released, because they did release quite a few that were pretty good during that time frame, and most of the Hunt ones were pretty good. One that sticks out in my brain was the Zack one that had the Omni Arcanum. That was a very good outfit for Zack, and we didn't really have the resources at the time to pull for that. So that's likely gonna be what I go with. It'll depend though, because Sid's is also very good. So we'll go through that though, and maybe I'll make a video separated that goes over all of the outfits that you can choose from that are basically from between anniversary and half anniversary, and just kind of like break those down. If you're interested in a video like that, leave a comment down below and let me know. Like I won't make that unless you guys actually want it or see it or need it, right? But I think that ultimately, much like the other outfit vouchers, right? Just pick whatever works for you, whatever you like the most, right? I don't even know, did I use mine yet? I did. I forget what I even got, I'll be honest. Oh, I remember, I got Vincent's lightning damage outfit. That's what I got. But yeah, so with that second anniversary gear voucher, just pull for or grab the thing that you want. If you want something the most, just grab it. If you already want it, you know, this game's supposed to be fun, right? Like, I'm not gonna give you like a meta reason or a meta pick. There is no meta pick. Just pick the thing you want, right? There will be some that I think that are better than others, but ultimately, if you think something's cute, just grab it. It's free, right? It's free. Don't feel bad. Just grab the thing you want. They said there's gonna be a campaign with 250 draws. Now, the way that they phrased this during the live stream made me think that this is going to be separate from like a daily free draw. It's just the way that it was phrased, and it's 250 draws, and this event goes through the end of October, or like the week before October. So I don't expect this to be a daily free pull. I think this is going to be kind of similar to the Dragon Quest Cloud and Air tickets that they gave us, and we'll be able to like earn some tickets to do draws. I don't know if that's true or not. Again, this is another one that I'm kind of a 50-50 coin flip. It could just be a free pull every day, and that wouldn't shock me at all. So just, you know, be prepared for either way. It's gonna be free pulls regardless, right? So it doesn't matter. And then this one is wild. So they're gonna be doing a login bonus that they're giving out 30 5-star weapons, and the weapons are gonna be at level 120 and already at OB6. So this is wild. If you're a new player, or if you're wondering if you should get into Ever Crisis, this is a great reason to start playing as soon as second anniversary hits. Because what this means is you're going to be getting weapons at either their best utility, in the case of utility weapons that are coming in at OB6, or at a significant amount of their damage for damage weapons that are released. And having it at 120 means you don't have to waste mithril ingots to get it to 120, which is also very useful. So keeping this in mind, there's 15 characters in the game right now. I expect it to be 2 weapons for each character in the game, not including the new Sephiroth that's coming out. I anticipate that will not be included in the 15 or the 30 weapons that they're giving out, but could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see. I do expect it's going to be the 15 characters that are in the game right now, 2 weapons each, so that way you can use each character and their weapons immediately, which will be nice. So something to keep in mind. That's actually super important. So if you're planning on playing Ever Crisis, or if you are a mild player of the game, at least make sure you log in for those 30 days to get those 5-star weapons at OB6, because that will significantly increase your power level. For the folks who have been playing since day one like me, I anticipate this isn't going to do much for us. We'll probably just end up getting like 6 levels into some weapons that we probably already have close to OB10. I'm looking at things like what's the fire glove for Tifa? It's rare for me to forget a name of a weapon. I can't remember the name of it. But her fire damage weapon is one that I think is an easy one to give to people at OB6, right? It's a very good weapon. It's a solid weapon. It does really good fire damage. Even today, it does very good fire damage. Shell Knuckles, that's it. This one does 940%. I've got it a little overboosted because I've got the extra brand to increasing it, but it does 940% with the 20% boost. That's 1128. And OB6 for this weapon is still really good for fire damage, right? 810 to 20% is still a huge increase in DPS. I think that's 970-ish, if my math is right, which is still really strong for a fire damage weapon. So like, this is one that they could give people immediately, and it wouldn't break the game. It would just let people have fun, right? So I'm anticipating it's going to be weapons like that. It's going to be things like maybe they'll do Holiday Blade for Cloud just to be nice. Because that would be a pretty strong weapon to give the Cloud with his new outfit. But, we'll have to wait and see with that. We don't know, obviously, until they tell us. But that's super good. And if you're a new player or a newer player, even if you started in 2025, this is a great time to start getting back into it and starting to play. A Blue Crystal campaign. So this one is specifically for anniversary. So I'm actually going to cut this and put this in front of the roadmap part. They are giving out Blue Crystals for the first players to log in for anniversary within the first hour of its release. So what this means is that within the first hour of it being released for everyone to play. This is global, completely, all the way across the world, right? You have an hour from the launch of the anniversary, so at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right? Or I think it's 11, no. Is it 11 a.m. Japan? Is it 13 hours difference? Daylight saving time in the United States always gets me confused, so I'm not actually sure what the conversion is. It might be 14 hours, it might be noon. But regardless, the first players that log in get 1,000 crystals, and they're going to give out crystals to every single player who logs in, up to 7,777,777 crystals. And the later that you log in from that first hour, the less crystals you'll receive. So you want to try to log in as soon as you can at 10 p.m. Eastern, if you can, to try to get these extra resources. It is just 1,000 though, so if you can't do it, don't break your back over it, right? If you normally go to bed at 10 and you need to go to sleep or whatever, just go to sleep. It's fine. It's only 1,000 crystals. It's not that big of a deal. But if you can, log in, get your extra rewards. Dope, right? All right, so now I'm going to go over the future roadmap. So the future roadmap, I'm actually going to put on screen here after I get done with the little spoiler warning here. Obviously, if you don't want to hear about what's coming up in the next 4 months, make sure that you get off the video right now. Just like it before you go, though. Don't leave. Don't leave. Like the video. Subscribe. But anyway, so we're going to talk a bit about the future roadmap. Obviously, we just talked about all the things that are happening in September. In October, we got confirmation that the First Soldier Part 2 story, or Episode 2 rather, is going to conclude. So we're going to reach the conclusion of Episode 2 of First Soldier First Soldier Episode 2. What that means to me is that we're likely going to have new story added at some point. I imagine it will be January. We're going to have a new story added because I find it odd that they would just end the story of the unique story and then not have a new main plot lined up for us to do at the start of 2026, right? What that plot's going to be, your guess is as good as mine. I'm expecting it to be before Crisis and another new character release that I won't spoil for folks that don't know what Before Crisis is, but we'll have to wait and see because I wasn't expecting Advent Children to come out first either. So I at this point, your guess is as good as mine. We could both be right, we could both be wrong. I have no idea. So, but that's going to be October. We're also going to have an event that's showing the aftermath of Glenn's team and the end of the First Soldier plot. So this will actually show all the anti-Shinra activities that Glenn was doing, kind of show what Rufus and his the Shinra troops are doing to find Glenn, to do whatever they can for what, whatever that is. I'm very excited for that. Very, very excited for that. As somebody that played Rebirth, I'm very excited to see what all this new information is, because it's likely going to tie in somehow. So it's good to know. November, I'm so excited about. So November, first thing they're adding is enemy skills, which is dope. So it's going to be a new limit break style thing. So you'll be able to have, like, instead of cross slash or a summon effect, you'll be able to equip an enemy skill. This could be very, very cool. Because obviously enemy skill is a huge thing in Final Fantasy VII OG and even in the remake series. Enemy skills are very, very fun. They're very, very cool. You get to use the enemy attacks as your own with the materia. So it's very, very cool that they're adding this in. I thought it was going to be added as, like, individual materials, but adding it as limit breaks I think is going to make it more fun. And the one that they showed, I wasn't sure what it was, but it did have a sigil break on it, which was interesting to me as well. So something to keep in mind. Like, that might be something that's pretty cool. We might be able to find a different way to add sigil breaks to builds for specific things like guild battles and such. So that'll be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that. The thing I'm really excited about is they're doing a collab with Final Fantasy 13, man. That's so cool. I love Final Fantasy 13, and I know that I'm probably in the minority of that, but, like, they showed outfits for Tifa and Aerith, and my goodness, like, it just looks like it's going to be so fun. They showcased a video of Lightning in, like, Ever Crisis, like, Rebirth remake style graphics, and oh my goodness, it looks so good, dude. It looks so good. They have to be remaking Final Fantasy 13 or remastering Final Fantasy 13, right? There's no way they have these up-res models. I refuse to believe it. But, like, whatever. Just get my hopes up for no reason. Thank you. But it should be fun. I'm excited. Obviously, we'll be covering that in November as well. I'm very excited. And for folks that haven't seen anybody play Final Fantasy 13 yet, we are working through a Final Fantasy marathon. And although the next 2 games on the schedule are Tactics on September the 30th, and then whenever we finish that, it's going to be Final Fantasy 12, we are doing the entire 13 trilogy after that. So if you're interested in seeing Final Fantasy 13 for the first time, you can come watch somebody that actually enjoys the game, and I would be happy to share that experience with you. If you're not interested in watching the live streams over on Twitch, though, I will have the VODs as always here on YouTube, and you can always watch them here on YouTube as well. But I love those games. I'm very excited to share it with everybody, and I hope you all are excited too, because it's going to be a lot of fun. And then in December, they confirmed there's going to be a collab with Nier. So they're doing back-to-back months with collabs. And so be prepared now mentally, because that means it's going to be 8 weeks of limited weapons. Now, they could do the same thing they did with the Dragon Quest event, where it was only 2 weeks of limited weapons, and then they did some featured stuff in between. And it wouldn't shock me if they did that, because right around there, right, we're looking at Halloween is around the November month, right? We got end of Halloween is around, I'm sorry, end of anniversary is around the Halloween banners, where the Halloween banners usually release. So I expect we'll see some Halloween banners, and there likely will be some holiday banners in December for featured weapons as well, because they've done that the last 2 years. So I'm anticipating that they'll do a good job. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because they've done a pretty good job outside of the last few weeks, which have been a bunch of limit break reruns. They've been doing a really good job mixing in featured banners in between limited banners. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that in between these two collabs, they're going to give us a break to try to get some resources back. But we'll have to wait and see. And then finally, they announced we're going to get some live stream gifts, which I don't think we would have gotten yet. Let's check really quick. Oh, they did. They did. There it is right there. So we're getting 5,000 crystals. I can actually just hit confirm here, and that would actually show us right now. We're getting 5,000 crystals. We're getting 10 refined mithril. We're getting a 5-star gotcha ticket. And then we're also getting 77 stamina pots, which I can't claim yet. So they're just going to sit here. They're in here somewhere, regardless. But yeah, they said they were going to go out 77 stamina pots as well. But as you can see, I've got stamina pots going all the way back to, God, I think the release of the game. Yeah, I still have the 16th anniversary for Crisis Core stamina pots that we got 2 weeks after this game came out. So I use the limited ones before they expire, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, so that's great. Cool login bonuses. Obviously, that's helpful for everybody. So 5,000 crystals is a lot. And then with the Battle Tower updates, the new event Battle Tower that they're likely to release, the event crystals, we're going to be getting a lot of blue crystals over the next, God, even 48 hours. So take a deep breath, get yourself prepared. Make sure you watch my 2 anniversary prep videos if you haven't already. Those will help you get ready for anniversary tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then if you are interested, make sure you check out my videos here on YouTube and my live stream on Twitch and TikTok tomorrow night at 10 p.m. We'll be covering all of this live. I'll be going through Sephiroth's entire kit. We'll be going over the new banner. We'll be going over the new event. We'll be going over the new battle towers. We'll be going over the plots, everything that we can do until I get too sleepy to do things. But that's pretty much it. Again, I did glaze over a couple of things. I think there was one point where they were talking about buffing Zack's weapon, one of Zack's weapons. I have no idea what that could be alluding to. I think it's alluding to his original half anniversary fire weapon, that they're going to give it an increase. I don't actually know the answer to that. I was, again, just translating through YouTube chat at that point. So I don't want to speculate on the stuff that I don't know, but that's basically everything that I gathered. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know if you're all excited. I'm very excited. I love Advent Children. I can't wait to do it. Even though this wasn't what I was expecting for 2nd anniversary, I'm very hyped to experience it. I'm very excited to share it with everybody here. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Have a great Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. And as always, we'll see you again in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.